What is up, everybody? So in today's video, as you guys can already see, highly requested Lair or Darkness deck profile for the December 3rd 2018 format. This deck kind of tore up the Metal last format back in August at top 8 of the regionals in Canada, which was awesome. And it's been one of those decks that ever since the structure deck was released, Lair or Darkness, people have been wanting to tinker with, because you guys already know the card Lair of Darkness not only turns all monsters on the board dark, it allows you to use your opponent's monsters for tribute effects, which is huge. And that's going to be the purpose of this deck profile today, which is to take advantage of the Lair of Darkness card and bring the deck back to its roots. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's begin.
Ice on my wrist, looking kinda cool. Bad bitch with me, she ain't tryna move. Niggas staring at me, what you tryna do? Got me looking at my watch, and it's time to do.
So it's a 40 card main deck. I'm gonna start off with the main deck first, and then extra deck. Thumbs up this video if you guys want to see a Can You Win Yu-Gi-Oh locals with Lair of Darkness in 2019. Because by the time I get a chance to take this deck to locals and play with it, it will be the new year. So thumbs up the video if you want to see me take this deck to locals to compete. One Darkest Diablos, Lair of Darkness, a Lair. Very powerful card. You only want to run him as a 1-up because for one, he clogs a lot. Effect pretty simple. You cannot tribute this face-up card in the field and cannot target it with card effects. You can only use each of his effects once per turn. When you're a dark monster, you control a tributor, except during damage step, you can special summon from your graveyard if it was there when you tribute it, or hand even if not. Then while he's on the board, you can tribute a dark monster to pretty much eat a card of your opponent's hand, put it on top of bottom deck. So it's a solid card, boss monster today. You run it as a 1-up because you don't want it to clog. 1, 2, 3, Arama, the Wicked Warder. Now, you pitch him to add your Lair of Darkness from your deck to your hand. Secondary effect, you can tribute one dark monster. I wish it was a quick effect, but beggars cannot be choosers. You draw a card, and then, or if you tribute a dark monster other than him to activate his effect, you can add one dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck to your hand. So essentially, if you tribute a dark monster other than him, you can add from your deck to your hand this guy, which is huge, plusing the most. So yeah, you run it at 3. Good card in the deck, solid. It's tutors at worst, and then at best he helps you out your opponent's board. So the one tour guy, because the main girl in the deck is a level 3 fiend. You guys know tour guy gives you access to things like you know, break sword and etc. So one tour guy. Now the cream de la creme to the deck, 3 Lilith, Lady of the Limit. This card makes the deck viable. It kind of almost broke the deck, to be honest with you. If this card is normal summon, its original attack becomes 1,000. You can tribute one dark monster, reveal 3 normal traps from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses one for you to set in your field, and then shuffle the rest back into your deck. You can only use the activation of her effect once per turn. Now the thing that's keen for her, quick effect. Tribute one dark monster. What does Lair of Darkness say? Turn all monsters on the board dark. So you can tribute any dark monster board, and Lair of Darkness also allows you to tribute your opponent's monsters for tribute effects. So essentially, you got her on the board, you got Lair. You can tribute off your opponent's monsters on their turn to control their board and set traps from your deck. Running at 3, no exceptions. Now for the spice. Now I'm not gonna lie, I got this from the guy who top 8 at regionals back in August, and I really like the tech a lot. One moral tag that beat over monsters and pop monsters on the board, and 2 artifact scythe to stop those extra deck summons. Really good against Sky Strikers, good against ABC. You can set it, people think they can just get rid of it and then be like, gotcha. So 2 scythe, 1 moral tag for the artifact engine. And I ran out the monsters, 3 Ash Blossom, because I got 3, and you guys already know my theory. Every deck should be running 3 Ash Blossoms this format, no exceptions. It's too good of a card not to run. You got a lot of people running things like Card of Demise, a lot of Pot of Desires main deck. So you want to make sure you run your Ash Blossoms to stop stuff like that. Now for the spells. 1 Monster Reborn, because it's a staple in my opinion. 1 Super Poly Tech. Now, the reason why I run Super Poly is because I got a pretty spicy tech card in my extra deck. That tech card being Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Now, the reason why I run Mud Dragon of the Swamp is because, for 1, you're going to have Lair of Darkness on the board. And for 2, he says you can fusion summon him with 2 monsters of the same attribute with different types. 9 times out of 10, when you have your Super Poly and Lair Darkness on the board, your opponent's gonna have a dark monster because they all turn dark, and you're gonna have a monster on your board, or your opponent just might have 2 dark monsters on the board with different types. So essentially, you can Super Poly out over your opponent's monsters to bring them out on your board. So I think that's a pretty techy play. I like it a lot. Then not to mention as well, you do play somewhat different types in here, and everything's dark because of the artifact engine. So I like Super Poly. I think it's worth using because of Mud Dragon. So you run it at 1. Of course, you're gonna run a 3 Lair Darkness. Best card in the deck. It makes the deck run because the deck is Lair Darkness themed. You guys already know what it does. And I forgot to mention too, it does give you tokens, and the tokens can help you deal damage and etc. So yeah, 3 Lair Darkness. You want to make sure you open them up. Going into game 1. 1, 2, 3 Allure Darkness. I run 3 Allure Darkness because I want more consistency in my deck more than anything. You guys already know, the more cards you draw, the better. You want to draw your combo pieces, so you got to run 3 Allure Darkness. 1, 2, 3 Pot of Duality. Now, I like Pot of Duality. This deck does not special summon a lot. It does a lot of setup. It's a slow roll control deck. You play 3 of these, no exceptions. Shift through your deck a lot. You can pot into Allure and go off from there. Really good stuff. And then you guys already know my theory about roll decks. They must run Pot of Desire, so I'm splashing into 2 Pot of Desires on them boys. Thought about 3. 3 seems too cloggy. 2 seems to be the right number because you want to keep your hand up in these rogue decks. I think that's a lot of draw power for this deck. Now for the traps. 1 Eradicator. Eradicator is still good. I mean, you can strip it off your opponent's monster if they're doing something goofy against you. When you got Lair on the board, and kill all their spell and traps. Then if not, if you open it up, you can just get rid of your opponent's spell and traps. Solid card. I think it's worth running at 1 in this deck. 1 Full Force Virus. Full Force Virus is good as well. I only run 1 because sometimes it can clog at 3, and you might not be able to consistently get it out. It really just messes up your opponent's day if you resolve it. So run it as a 1 of. I don't think you need it at 3 at all. 1, 2, 3 Artifact Sanctums. Now, obviously, you're running the Artifact engine, so you have to run 3 of these. Fun fact, Lilith can search out Artifact Sanctum, which is awesome. Yeah, Artifact definitely is made for this deck. 1, 2, and my 1 Proxy. Back to the front. Awesome card. You run it at 3 because you're going to want to make sure you bring back your Lilith. Because the main point of this deck, outside of just controlling with a lot of traps, is controlling with Lilith. The more you can abuse her effect, the more you can just win the game off of controlling your opponent's boards. There's nothing they can do because it tributes the monster. It doesn't destroy it. It's not targeting it. It's tributing, which is huge. You guys already know I'm a fan of Metaverse. Metaverse is a good card. It's a trap, so it fits the theme of the deck. And it allows you just to search out, so I like that a lot. And I ran off the traps. 1, 2, 3 Bottomless Trap Holes because it came back at 3, and I believe Bottomless is a solid card. Good against Pendulums because people still play their deck. Good against Sky Strikers because you don't want that little girl coming back out of the graveyard. It's just a solid card in general. Extra deck monsters. It's tutorable with Lilith. You can exchange this out for TTs, but I like Bottomless for when people try to do those cute pendulum plays. So yeah, man, like I said, this is a 40 card main deck, really solid. Let me go over the extra deck with you guys. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the extra deck was kind of all over the place. Tweak it to your liking. You can even add the artifact extra deck stuff in here as well. I don't really spam the artifacts that much. I felt like it was pointless, but if you guys want to add it because you think it's worth it, then worth it. 1 Mud Dragon because you run Super Poly. 1 Dante because you run your Tour Guide. 1 Lair because you run Tour Guide and you banishing stuff with your Allure Darkness, so you might want to bring stuff back. Summon Sources for those random times you can bring a card and use her effect. Phantom Knight Breaksword because you are going to be able to use this effect a lot because you are running Tour Guide. It's just a good card to use. Evil Swarm Nightmare just to have it. Evil Swarm Thanatos just to have it. Underclock Taker, Castel, Decode, Deal, rank 4 staples in my opinion, but Gooska, X-Con Knight, Tornado Dragon. Tornado Dragon is so good. Nightmare Phoenix and Witch's Apprentice. 15 card extra deck. Really budget-ish to say the least. Like I said, edit it to your liking. If anything, definitely run X-Con Knight, Gooska, and Tornado Dragon. I'm loving this card in Heroes, so I think running these cards in every deck that can run them is pretty good. So this is my Lair Darkness deck profile for the December 3rd, 2018 format. Post your thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't. This is InnovationYGO. I'm bringing you guys another spicy Yu-Gi-Oh video. Catch me in my next video, which is gonna be my full day Yu-Gi-Oh vlog. And I'm signing out. Peace and stay innovative, guys. Deuces.